What's going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing more like a first impressions type of deal. You guys know I recently went ham during the Sephora VIB sale, so I really want to use those products in today's video and let you guys know if they're worth your coin. I also have some products that were sent to me in PR, and I recently went to Disney Springs with MAC Cosmetics for the world premiere of the Aladdin collection. So I have two collections right here. One's mine, one's yours. I'm going to be giving one of the boxes away to you guys. So if you want to win this, make sure you guys give this video a big like, subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already, click that bell so that way you are notified when I upload, which is every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that, let's go ahead and hop right into the video. So first things first, you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyelids. I'm going to use the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. This literally is my favorite thing to prime my eyelids, and I'm just using an ABH. What number is this? Ooh, did I wipe it off? Oh, it's an A24. This is what I like to use to prime my eyelids as of recently, and it just gets the job done. The brush is nice and fluffy, and it just disperses the product nice and even. Moving on to eyeshadow, you guys saw me feature this in my Sephora haul. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Nude Eyeshadow Palette. You guys, I don't know how I got sucked in, but I did. This was actually sitting like in a little kiosk by the register. And as you can see, it is so mini, it's so cute. It retailed for about $25, which is up there for 5 eyeshadows, like 5, come on now. But I love that it has a transitional color, a crease color, and also 3 shades that you can kind of experiment and put all over the lid, which is why I picked it up. Plus, Natasha Denona palettes are expensive, like $129 expensive. So I wanted to play around with this formula to see if those palettes were actually worth picking up. So I'm gonna take this shade right here, which is more like a transitional shade, and I'm gonna put it in my crease on an M441. And I'm just using a very light hand. I'm gonna try not to get too crazy with this. And that is very pigmented. Let me brush some away on my hand because girl. I will definitely say that that shadow blended out very, very nicely as a transitional shade. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit more and just deepen it up. I know I said I wasn't gonna go too crazy, but I like literally can't help myself at this point. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more, but I'm still using like a relatively light hand. I'm now just gonna switch brushes to an ABH A13, and I'm gonna pick up some of that transitional shade with just a flat brush, and I'm gonna go to town and pack this all over the lid. And I know, so strange, right? But I'm thinking I just wanna do like a wash of color all over the lid as opposed to doing like a bunch of shimmer, because I do wanna go in with a relatively bright lip today. I know, crazy, something I never do, but I want to switch things up a bit. When I tell you guys this is going on like a dream, like butter, like so incredibly smooth. It's not tugging or getting patchy in any which area, which is so good for a matte eyeshadow. Like, I feel like mattes are extremely hard to create because sometimes they can pull and they can get patchy and things like that, but this little mini palette by Natasha Denona is not doing that. I said that weird, Natasha Denona, okay. I'm now gonna pick up this shade right here called Soil, and I'm gonna take it on that same flat ABH brush, this one right here. This is the A13. I'm gonna kind of wipe off the product, and I'm going to start packing this right here towards the base of my lash. So right about here, just to kind of smoke it out and give this like all matte look a little dimension. So I'm just going to continue to lightly pack this right here towards the very outer V area. Now I'm just going to take a M441, the same one we were using with that nice transitional shade that we put all over, and I'm just going to kind of buff it right here in the very outer crease area. I'm not going to drag this in too far. I really am just trying to create slight definition without going too wild. So now that I have a little bit of shadow on my lid, I'm just gonna go in with liner. Again, you can go in with a lid color. I'm personally not gonna go in with a lid color just because I'm really feeling how like smoked out and I don't know, warm this look is looking. So I'm gonna go in with this NYX matte liquid eyeliner. This is probably one of my all-time favorites. If you guys were really into the NYC liquid liner, then definitely try out this one from NYX because it literally is the exact same formula and it's easily accessible. You can go into an Ulta store and pick it up as opposed to the NYC one. I want to say it's discontinued or you can only purchase NYC on Amazon. I could be wrong though. I remember reading that in a comment, so I just wanted to put that out there. So I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I did a little bit of wing liner cleanup with a makeup wipe right here, which is why it's looking like a little sharp towards where my eyeshadow is, but it's okay. I'll clean it up with a little bit of foundation. My wings, they were just getting out of control and I definitely needed to calm them down a little bit, but it's time to move on to false lashes. Now I will be using these by Sephora collection. This is #LashStories, the Jet Setter lash. I really love this style of lash. I love how it's smaller in the inner corner and then it kind of flares out towards the end. And since I'm wearing wing liner, I think it's gonna look absolutely beautiful with this look. I did get this during the Sephora VIB sale, and I want to say they retail for about $8, so very, very inexpensive. Whew, now that my lashes are on, I can finally breathe. Is anybody else like that? Like, they feel like they can't really speak when they're doing their liner and their lashes. That's kind of how I feel. But lashes are on. I'm going to take a little bit of mascara to the base of my lash. I'm not going to coat this all the way through the lash, just because that can make them look a little bit fake looking. So I'm just going to kind of tap it right here just to blend my lashes in with the false lashes. But I did want to talk to you guys about my adventure to Disney Springs with Mac. It was so much fun. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you may have seen my stories. Or if you don't, then you probably didn't see my stories. But I did go to Disney Springs with Mac Cosmetics, and it honestly was so much fun. We got to see an early movie screening of Aladdin, and it was so good. I definitely recommend that you guys check out that movie when it launches. I want to say it comes out May 24th. So you have my stamp of approval. In the beginning, it was like a little bit slow, like slow to load, but you know what? It all came together in the end. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. When Will Smith came out, he really just did his thing. It was so hilarious and just a very enjoyable video. I don't really remember like the original Aladdin movie. I was so little back when I used to watch that, so I kind of want to rewatch the original Aladdin just to kind of compare both movies. But it was really good, I'm not gonna lie. And that's coming from somebody who's not like the biggest like Disney fanatic. Like, I'm not a Disney like, woo! I'm just like, okay, Disney, cute, but like the movie was really good and I would definitely go see it again. Like, I would probably see it like 3 times because it was that good. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and move on to the skin. I'm gonna first start off by going in with a little bit of SPF. This is the SPF that my esthetician actually recommended that I use. So I'm just gonna put this all over. I really need to get in the habit of putting on sunscreen every single day, especially if I'm gonna be out in the sun, and that's something I've been doing whether I'm wearing makeup or not. So I like to put this on before I put on my primer. I feel like this is kind of like a moisturizer for me, so that's why I like to put this on before I put on my face primer. I'm now going to go in with primer. I'm going to use this. This is the Ole Henriksen Truth Banana Bright Face Primer. I picked this up during the VIB sale. I'm just going to take a pump of this and put it on my hand and then just put it on my skin, kind of like a moisturizer. Now, normally primers for me, they're more silicone based, but this one definitely feels more like a moisturizer, which is why I am putting it on like a moisturizer. And I definitely feel like it has really nice brightening properties. Like, do you guys see how glowy and like luminous my skin is? Like, that is sick. That is so beautiful. I'm trying to gravitate more towards like skin like products, so that is one of the main reasons I really wanted to pick up this primer, in addition to the fact that it has vitamin C in it, and vitamin C is amazing for your skin. Y'all already know the deal with this one. This is my Pixie Brightening Concentrate in a peach shade. As you can see, like, I put a pretty big dent in this. It's probably time for me to get a new one. I love this so much. I love to put it directly underneath my eyes to just cancel out the discoloration I have going on here. I also put it right here along the sides of my mouth, just because I feel like that area is a little bit darker than the rest of my face, especially in pictures. I feel like I notice it more in pictures than anything, so I do like to brighten that area as well. After applying that color corrector, I kind of feel like I want to go in with more of like a pore filling primer, especially in this area right here. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer on a brush. I have been liking applying this with a brush, more so my fingers, just because I can really like push it into my skin. This right here is a MAC 190, but you can use any flat brush that you want. And I'm just gonna kind of focus it right in this area. I don't know what it is, but as I got older, I started to notice that my pores were very, very enlarged. So I have to take some extra steps when it comes to priming, especially in this area right here, because girl, you know, those pores peeking through your foundation. That is not cute, like, at all. Before I completely go in with foundation, I really want to try this out by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have mine in the shade 4 medium. This is like a tad bit too dark, but I also felt like shade 3 was just way too silver for me. So I'm actually just going to apply this to the highest points of my cheekbones, like so. And as you can see, it is like a little bit dark. I definitely could have opted for something a little bit lighter, but it's okay. Ooh, I'm going crazy. Try looking in your monitor and putting on makeup, girl. That is a challenge all in itself, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm filming and I have like a big monitor right here, but the monitor that I'm looking at, it's like flipped. So it's like I'm seeing the opposite of what I'm doing. So I got a little bit distracted. Like, I was like, hold up, wait, what? So to buff and blend this out, I'm just using an e.l.f. sponge, the one with like all of the holes in it that kind of resemble pores. This literally is one of the best like affordable sponges I've ever tried. It is so good. And I also love that it's easily accessible, so I can go into Ulta and just pick it up, as opposed to like the one from Wet n Wild. It's good and all, but I have a hard time finding that one in stores. So ooh, do you see how stunning this looks on the highest points of my cheeks? I'm not gonna lie, one of the main reasons I originally wanted to pick this up is because I was watching Katie's video and she put this on directly underneath her foundation, like on the highest points of her cheeks, and it literally looked so incredibly beautiful, like literally flawless. Speaking of which, I did finally meet Katie in person when I was in Disney Springs with Mac for the Aladdin like world premiere collection launch, and she literally is the sweetest person I have ever met, hands down. Like, so incredibly sweet, flawless in real life. I'm not even kidding. Like, her hair was so cute. Like, every single strand of hair was like strategically placed. Like, her makeup, it didn't even look like she was sweating. Like, it was so hot. You guys know, if you live in Florida, it's hot, it's humid. The girl wasn't even sweating, and I was like, here I am, like drenched in sweat. Like, hi, I'm Ashley. Like, you know what? She literally was the sweetest person. And honestly, I don't even know if you guys know this, but back when Katie started with Ipsy, I was actually supposed to come on with her at the same time. So we were supposed to join Ipsy together. They were bringing on 2 new stylists at the time. And at the time, Kristen was the plug for me. So she kind of, you know, threw my name in there, and she really put me in front of the people that I needed to be in front of in order to get that gig. But I was in a really bad contract at the time, and things fell through and it didn't happen for me. So when I seen her at the event, it took me some time, but I actually ended up going up to her and I'm like, look, like, my name's Ashley. I don't know if you know this, but I was actually supposed to start Ipsy at the same time you started Ipsy. And sometimes when I see you, I can't help but think how different things would be if that actually happened. And, you know, she gave me so many encouraging words. Like, she was so incredibly nice. She's like, you know what? Don't ever feel like you missed out on an opportunity, because everything happens for a reason. And I truly believe that. Like, she was so incredibly nice about it, and she held a conversation with me. She took a picture with me. She put me on her stories, and honestly, you don't come by that often, especially in the beauty community. I can't tell you how many times I've been to an event where I've met somebody of my stature. Maybe they have about 200K on me. They're a little bit bigger than me, but they can't even hold a conversation with me. They can't even say hello. They can't even like put their phone down for 2 seconds to be like, what's up, or hold a conversation. So I definitely respect Katie. She is so incredibly nice. And it was just such an amazing experience. And I'm getting a little sappy there, but it was a really good experience. And I'm so grateful that I was able to go to that event and be able to actually like speak to her, you know? Whew, so I went on a little mini tangent there for a second. You know what? Let's get back to the makeup. I do have foundation here. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I used this in one of my last videos. I want to say it was my full face of dupes video. And when I looked at my face, I'm like, girl, your skin looks hella flawless, hella bomb. So I will be using this today. I thought I was originally going to use this one by Dior, but this is definitely more of like a sheer foundation, and unfortunately my skin's just kind of going through it. I have some blemishes here and also here that I really need to cover up because I'm going to the movies to see John Wick tonight, so we need some full coverage, okay? Medium to full coverage, and Too Faced is it. By the way, I am mixing 2 foundations today. I have vanilla here, and I also have warm nude. Honestly, I just feel like when I mix the 2, I get more of like my perfect match. So I'm just gonna do a little cocktail. And I am mixing in just a little bit more of vanilla than I am a warm nude, just because you guys know I'm a little bit on the light side, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm going to use the side of the sponge just because there is a lot right here. So I'm just going to kind of shear it out a little bit because I put a lot on at first, and I definitely don't want it to be like too heavy. And I don't know if you guys know this, but this foundation does have hyaluronic acid in it, so it's gonna add nice hydration to the skin. It's not overly drying or anything like that, which is something I really, really love about it. Moving on to concealer, I have the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer in the shade Light. I've been really wanting to try this. I hope this isn't too light. I also hope that it's not too dark either. Ooh, this is like perfect. This is actually a really pretty applicator, and it seems like it's gonna be a pretty decent consistency. Ooh, okay. Honestly, you guys, just blend it out very, very nicely. It definitely is light coverage. It is not full coverage at all. So if you are more into like full coverage concealers, this definitely is not it, sis. Just putting that out there, but it is a really, really beautiful concealer. I am going to take a little bit of my Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer just because you guys know this is my jam, and I'm only going to use a little bit of this. I'm going to take it right here, right in this area, like so, just to, you know, cover up a little bit more, because the Becca one, it didn't cover up that much, and honestly, I didn't buy it as a full coverage concealer. I really wanted to use that concealer more on my natural skin days. So just saying, I'm gonna go ahead and buff this out. So far, I will say I'm loving how my base makeup is coming out. Like, it looks insanely flawless. Like, my under eye area, my foundation, flawless. Like, hands down. Instead of going in with a ton of like loose powder, I'm going to throw it back to the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm going to pick up that banana shade, and I'm going to use it to set directly underneath my eyes. And my under eye area is going to be the only area of my face that I'm going to set down, just because I do want to go in with like some cream products on my cheeks. Before I completely go in with powders and stuff like that, I definitely want to use like more cream products. So I picked this up during the Sephora sale. This is the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Mocha. I also picked up a brush from Sephora collection. I have the Sephora Pro Foundation number 47, which definitely comes to more of an angle, and I'm actually going to use this to contour a little bit. So I'm going to take the product and I'm going to brush it on to the Sephora brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and start, you know, doing a little slant. I'm going to just push this upwards like so, and then just buff this into the skin. Ooh, I like how this is blending out. Whew. I also like this brush to blend it out. That is really pretty. I can't even really fake the funk, you guys. Like, this is blending in so incredibly beautifully. I normally don't get down with like cream products like that, but this, I feel like it is a really beautiful color for my skin tone. I also love the formula of this. Like, it is blending very, very nicely. It's like melting into my skin. Shout out to Janiners for putting me on, because this brush, this shade, this product is everything. I'm going to use a JD Weighty Nose Contouring Brush by Luxie. I'm going to brush some of that matchstick on there, and I'm just going to take this alongside my nose to just give me some shape. Fenty Matchstick, you guys, win. Like, definite win for me. Do you see how beautifully that just melted into the skin? The brush I use is also amazing as well. I didn't think I was going to love this brush as much as I do. Like, these two products together, like, what? Like, how, you know? So freaking good. I am not disappointed by this whatsoever. I'm definitely needing to go in with a little bit of powder. So I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade 1. I definitely need to put a little bit more of this underneath my eyes, because that powder by Kat Von D just isn't doing it for me. As you can see, that's like a million times better. I'm also going to take some of this powder alongside my nose just to give it a little bit of shape after going in with that cream bronzer. Just kind of shape it up a little bit, nothing too crazy. This next step is totally optional, but it's a step I like to do, especially if I am experimenting more with like cream contours like I did today. So I will take a little bit of translucent powder. This one right here is just the collab Set the Stage Ultra Fine Loose Powder in the shade Porcelain Ivory. I put some on the back of the cap, and then I'll take my sponge, dip it into the translucent powder, and then just pat the excess on the back of my hand, and then I'll lightly press this into my skin and directly over top of that cream contour. Now, since this is a translucent powder, trust me when I tell you, it's not really going to cover up that cream contour. You're definitely going to be able to see it kind of peeking through. And one of the main reasons I like to do this is because when I will go in with like a powder bronzer directly over top, sometimes I find that the bronzer will skip on top of the cream product, and that will leave more of like a very kind of like patchy situation that I don't really want to happen in this case. I'm also going to take a little bit of that translucent powder onto my nose as well. The bronzer I'm going to use today is by Cover FX. This is their brand new monochromatic bronzer duo in the shade Sun-Kissed Bronze. So on one side you have the matte and the other side you have the shimmer. I'm going to take a little bit of the matte side on a MAC 135. You can also use something like this, which is a Morphe M527. Very, very, very similar. I do prefer the one from MAC a lot more though, but that's just a personal preference. I'm just lightly going in with a little bit of this. I don't want to go too crazy with it. You know what's funny is that I actually went out and picked up these Cover FX monochromatic duos from Brandon. Like, I live nowhere near Brandon. It is hella far, and I drove all the way to Brandon. Well, actually Bobito drove to Brandon to pick up these little duos for me because I wanted them so bad. Ooh, and they were sold out on Sephora's website after the sale, and I was so sad. I'm gonna go in with another blush duo by Cover FX. This one is in the shade Soft Peach. You guys, this is so incredibly beautiful. You know I live for a good peach blush, so I'm going to take my little Precise powder brush by Smashbox, and I'm just going to dust this onto my cheeks. Just give myself a little smile and really just focus it right here on the apples. Woo, I got a little heavy-handed there, but do you guys see how beautiful this shade is? Like, I'm obsessed. And I'd be lying if I said I did not try out this blush duo yet because I was just too excited not to, and I'm already obsessed with it. Like, I definitely recommend these by Cover FX. They are so good. I'm gonna go in with a separate brush. This is just an ABH A22, and I'm gonna dust a little bit of that shimmer onto the apples of my cheeks just to give my cheeks more of like a glow. And what I love about like the shimmer in this blush duo is that it's not powdery. Definitely not powdery. A lot of the shimmer doesn't even come off. It's very, very fine. It's not even like shimmer at all. It's just very, very pretty and luminous, which is something I like. Today I will be using a new highlighter palette. It is by Dominique Cosmetics. This is Kristen's brand new Prisma Glow eyeshadow palette. The packaging is so stunning. She did an amazing job, and honestly I'm just really excited to test out the highlighters. So when you open it up, you have 3 powder highlighters and then also a skin gloss, which is essentially like a cream product. I was playing around with it a little bit. I thought I wanted to use more of like a cream highlighter. Turns out I don't. I want to use like more of the powder one. So I'm going to just dust a little bit of the shade Pink Haze and Golden Hour mixed together on the highest points of my cheekbones. I'm also going to take a little bit of that cocktail and just put it right here on the tip of my nose and down the bridge. Let's go in and finish off my lower lash line. I'm going to take the Little Mini Nude palette by Natasha Denona, take that transitional shade, the very light soft brown, on a flat definer, and I'm just going to kind of push it right here closest to my lash line just to kind of connect everything together. And then with a pencil brush, I'm just gonna kind of smoke it out. Then picking up a little bit of soil on that same flat definer, I'm just gonna pop this right here closest to the very outer V of my lower lash line. And since you guys know I love a good nude liner, I'm gonna use this one by LA Girl, which honestly has become one of my all-time favorite nude eyeliners. This is the Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Eyeliner in the shade Super Bright. And trust me when I tell you, this eyeliner is super bright. It does not smudge, it does not budge, and it looks insanely beautiful in the waterline. To really melt down my face makeup, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Dewy Set. Whew, I said a little bit, but I literally like took a bath. Like, does anybody else do that? And while I wait for that to dry down, I'm just gonna set my brow hairs down and in place with the Glossier Boy Brow Gel. If you guys haven't watched like my dupes video, definitely check that out because I talk about a really good dupe for the Boy Brow Gel. Let's go ahead and finish things off with the lips. I'm gonna use MAC Strip Down Lip Liner to just outline my lips. And then I'm gonna go in with the brand new A Whole New World lipstick by MAC Cosmetics. This is from the Aladdin collection. You guys, look how poppy this lip color is. Like, I'm a little bit intimidated. You guys know I normally go for nudes, but I feel like this definitely calls for a pop of color. I'm just applying it all over my bottom lip, and then I'm just gonna blot. All right, Slay Baes, this right here is the final and completed look. What do you guys think of it? Let me know down below in the comments. I will definitely say, like, the lips are a little bit different for me. You guys know normally I will gravitate more towards like nudes or burgundies or even reds, but never pinks. But like looking at it on the viewfinder, like I'm in it. Like I am in it to win it. I love the shade. I think MAC did an amazing job with the overall formula. It's very, very comfortable. Speaking of MAC, I am giving away the entire MAC Aladdin collection. So if you guys want to win this bad boy right here, every single product, including this lipstick that I have on, then make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to my channel, click that bell so YouTube will notify you when I upload, and also leave me a comment down below with the hashtag SlayBaes. With that, I don't think I have much else to say except this Too Faced Born This Way foundation, honey, it is it. I am so glad I rediscovered it because my face is flawless. I'm gonna go. I've been doing a lot of this. I will have asterisks next to each and every single product that I know, love, and would recommend a million times over down below in the description. So check that out. I love you, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.